story of Dragon Boys is the story of ethnic identity.
In a white man's world, Chinaman is still a Chinaman.
It's about people coming to a new world, new country. It's a story about immigrants.
It's about human dilemmas. It's about people making choices in the moment, given the situations that they're in.
It actually began with an interest in organized crime on the West Coast.
Simon is a gangster.
Very quickly, however, it became, as I say, a story about the culture, a story about human beings, rather than a story about crime per se.
Dragon Boys is about people torn by conflicting loyalties, and the crime story genre is the stage on which we play.
What I wanted to do was something which went far beyond a crime story, a cultural story, a human story.
It's not about the triad structure or about how they operate.
I felt that it was the only script that ever talked about how this affects the victims and the families. Very seldom will you get an opportunity to really look into the minds and hearts of people who are affected.
I have failed my son all his life.
It's more about humanity and how people react or behave in those situations.
Being able to see humanity in every character.
I worked. I built a life for my family. And what did you do? What did I do?
No matter how we see them, whatever judgment we have in terms of whether this particular character is good or particular character is bad.
My family sent me here to live with my brother. 14 years old. I learned how to survive.
They all have their strengths and weaknesses. We begin to understand why they do certain things.
And I always say that it's a gangster movie, and he always tell me it's a love story.
People who are trying to connect with the other person that they're involved with. What's keeping them apart or brings them together are dramatic issues that have their roots in culture clashes, East and West, China and Canada.
Because every time you're with us, you're somewhere else, out there on the front line, stamping out the yellow peril.
What? Dragon Boys is about family. Dragon Boys is about community. Most of all, I think Dragon Boys is about love. How we express our love, how we give our love, how we lose love, and how we try to get it back.
Come with us. Just walk away and let's start again, the three of us.
Whoa, that must have hurt.
Hey, Tom.
One of the core stories concerns Tommy Jiang, who is played by Byron Mann, who's a Chinese-Canadian RCMP detective on the gang squad.
What gangs?
Basically, he collects intelligence. If there's anything that needs to be known about the Asian crime, Asian figures, Asian triad, anything about Asian criminals, they call him.
We both want the same thing.
And what's that?
We both want Willie the Duck.
今次呢部戲裏邊都有啲差人係亞裔㗎，咁用翻啲亞裔嘅去了解翻我哋亞裔嘅心態，但係我始終都覺得就話其實都有啲生活上嘅唔同嘅。咁我哋自己拍，因為我哋已經喺亞洲啦，我哋當然係拍一啲好生活上嘅嘢啊，一啲我哋已經好明白嘅嘢，唔需要解釋嘅嘢。但係對一啲北美嘅電影嚟講咧，佢就會比較上去解釋多啲啊，佢多了解，佢多研究亞裔人嘅心態啊，因為始終大家嘅 culture 係有唔同。
And I got this phone call from Byron Mann, who was in Hong Kong. He had just had coffee with Eric Tung. And he said, Eric may be interested in doing the project. Did I know who Eric was? And I said, well, of course I know who Eric is.
He's a Hong Kong star. He's a legend in Hong Kong.
He's like the Robert De Niro of Hong Kong.
But he's the De Niro of Hong Kong.
喺裏邊係做係一個喺唐人社會裏邊一個可以講到話係一個黑社會嘅大佬啊，佢哋叫大佬啦嚇。 咁但係我成日同導演溝通嗰陣時，佢成日話呢個係一個 love story 嚟嘅，係一個愛情故事，係講你同你太太嘅愛情故事。
Belinda Luck is Willie the Duck's wife, and she has come to Canada, I think, to start a new life, but it didn't work out. Willie's just can't clue in to where she's at.
你根本从来没有关心过我。
He's fantastic to work with. He's such a pro and he's such a sweetheart. But it's funny because the first scene I had with him, my first day, we were slapping each other around.
Is it clean up the house?
He said, just do it hard because I don't want to do 22 takes and don't hit my ear.
This is kind of like a love story gone bad.
See? He knows everything.
That's my 2 cents worth.
You really don't get it, do you?
This is why I never talk about my work.
This is why we're not together.
He's so driven and focused on his job that, it's to the detriment of his own social life. From this point on, things just go south. So, this is it. Pretty much every part of his life is collapsing before his eyes. He also discovers what is important to him, at the end.
This?
Oh, okay. like a kid.
Oh, I see.
Do you have kids, Byron?
No.
No, he doesn't.
Obviously.
How you doing?
Good.
I missed you.
Yeah, you too.
You have trouble. You come to me, you understand?
I know. I'm okay.
You stay away from those punks!
A second key story concerns a character named Henry Wah, who's played by Tai Ma.
Let me tell you a little bit about Henry.
Hank Wah.
I'm equipped, as you can see.
He is a immigrant, to Canada. He has worked very hard to kind of bring his family to a comfortable level where they can kind of participate in the society of Vancouver.
We just opened a restaurant. Why is this guy talking? Let's eat! 大家食嘢，起拍起拍起拍！
Henry has a family, a wife.
I'm Christina Ma, and I play the character of Mei Wah.
And a son who he loves dearly.
Hey, I'm Simon Wang. I play Jason Wah.
Oh, there he is! Jason!
I think Mei came from a little bit of an upper-class family. So, she kind of married down a little, and for the love, what women do for love, I tell you.
We take this family and go on a little journey that Henry and Mei didn't really expect.
I think he's a good kid at heart.
Number one son.
He means well. He tries to do well, both at school and in his life.
Jason, come on, you're gonna be late.
I don't feel so hot. When you're great, you go to school.
He doesn't really get a lot of encouragement and praise from his father. At school, there's this A crowd, this in-group, which happens to be a gang. Once you're in with them, nobody else messes with you. And I think he really wants to be part of that.
Yeah, they start off as a nice, wonderful family, and one thing leads to another as Jason gets involved.
Some gang activity and crime and things.
Oh, wow. What happened? Why do I have a bruise here? Do you know?
You!
Yeah, it's all me, it's all me.
Your fault again.
It's all him.
It's the story of Henry's attempt to reach out to his son and ultimately to save his sons.
My son made the soccer team this year. And all I said to him was, what about your schooling? Talk to someone else.
This is about slapping Henry.
You're a disgrace! What have you done to make you think
You deserve to live! Tell me! Huh? What have you done?
The hell are you talking about?
To make you think you deserve...
It's about time that someone from the community have some kind of backbone in terms of standing up to this strong arm tactics, this fear factor kind of thing that they put on the community.
I'm just so excited to be working with Tai Ma and Christina Ma, who play my parents. The minute I met them, they were just like my parents, really.
Like, when we're offset, Simon and I are like, we're like kids and we're bouncing all around and, we're chatting and everything. As Ty goes, oh my God, the kids are in the car. They're in the van. Oh my God, it's so noisy in the van. And then we're going, and then suddenly on the set, I have to be his mom. And it's such a different shift of energy and embodiment of character.
Yay, Mom.
Tai Ma, I've seen him in a million films, and I think he's one of my mentors. I aspire to be like him.
It's exciting working with my husband. It's exciting working with all these other men.
Really?
Such a beautiful depiction of the loyalty, the love, the compassion in any family unit, that is tight and has a belief system and has faith.
Jason, it's me. It's a school. It's no big deal.
I'm not blind.